Thank you. Name is Zulfi Bukhari. I'm a former minister in Imran Khan's cabinet. I'm here to raise a particular point, and that is the human rights abuse and violations on Imran Khan, his wife, and his political party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. In May 2023, in May 2023, Imran Khan was arrested following another 13,000 people's arrest that were put in jail, lots of forced disappearances, and ultimately leading up to the election where our back, which is our political symbol from the beginning and the creation of our party, was stripped away from us, making it very difficult for people to recognize the symbol on election day. However, prior to election, there was an unbelievable amount of rigging, which has been reported by all independent observers across the world. Regardless, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf ended up becoming the largest political party in parliament, and after which the crackdown only got even stronger and harder and harsher. Imran Khan today has been in prison for over 2.5 years. He hasn't had any interaction with the outside world for maybe over a good 60 days. In between, he was only allowed to see his lawyer once, one of his lawyers once, for a very short period of time. His health is deteriorating with an issue with his right eye, where he had lost 85% of his vision. This systematic crackdown that took place on us happened through various means, from curbing and clipping off the wings of the judiciary by bringing in the 26th Amendment, which brought the judiciary under the executive, so not letting it be independent and having political appointees in it. At the same time, we saw the judicial system being eradicated. For the first time, we saw over 100 or maybe 104 people convicted in military courts, civilians being convicted in military courts, out of which one was Hassan Khan Niazi, Imran Khan's nephew, who still is in prison after his conviction. On November 26, we saw a massacre take place in Pakistan, where thousands of people came out on the road to protest against what the clampdown on Imran Khan and his party. Over a dozen people got killed. Malik Idris, one of my supporters, was also shot dead. BBC reported it. They tried to cover it up, but thanks to international media, that got revealed. Even myself, at the moment, having a 10-year sentence, convicted recently a couple of weeks ago in a 10-year sentence for a crime of terrorism, for which, when it took place, I wasn't even in the country. So it kind of shows you what is happening. Honorable guest earlier mentioned Iman Mazari and her husband Hadi, who have been sentenced to 17 years for a social media post. This gives you an indication of where Pakistan is. Most of our top-tier leadership is either in hiding or in prison. We have a two-time foreign minister, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, extremely respectful human being, in prison. We have a 70-year-old former health minister who is in prison simply because she defeated the current prime minister's brother in the election, but overnight the result was overturned. We've got journalists that have been assassinated. We have journalists that are in exile, living in different countries for protection because they're not allowed to speak the truth. We have our top-tier journalists who have voluntarily, and some have been forced, to come off air because they don't want to talk about just the weather. They want to talk about the oppression that is taking place in Pakistan. This just brings me to the reason why we're here today. I have a contrary belief and opinion to everyone else that has spoken before me, and I'm sure many that will speak after me. Pakistan must remain with the status of the GSP Plus framework. In fact, more of it is better for the country. In particular, our women who work in the export sector It's the only way where you'll keep any kind of check and balances when you're in the framework. Suspending the GSP plus status for Pakistan is a disaster, not only for the 250 million people that work so hard and deserve it, but for the country overall, for any kind of checks and balances, as I have mentioned. The GSP plus status means a lot to my people. I know it better than most, and I fully endorse it. But what I do say is that the checks and balances must take place, and there must be a better framework to make sure that Pakistan abides by the ICC or ICCPR and the Convention Against Torture and the core ILO conventions.
Mr. Bukhari, I think the time is after.
Sure.
And what we are calling, maybe I should clarify, there is a leverage the European Commission has over Pakistan. You know, wars don't help. This leverage is GSP plus status. We are not asking to stop it. We are asking to suspend it from Pakistan. So maybe then government will become serious. So this is my remark to your remark.
Just so I can just complete. We had a working, I'll just come to your point. We had a working group opinion, a decision made by the working group, UN working group on arbitrary detention. Our request is fairly simple. The working group opinion came out maybe over 18 odd months ago, and we request that a stronger follow-up takes place, which it was a unanimous decision that Imran Khan is illegally in prison, along with a special rapporteur on torture, which announced that the conditions Imran Khan is residing in is unacceptable and illegal. Again, let it be a suspension, let it be taking it out of the framework of the GSP Plus. Affects too many lives. We, as Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, have always put our country first and always continue to put our country first at whatever cost it may be. We don't believe in any separatist movement. We believe in unifying all provinces as one, as Pakistan, and we stand up and we stand with our state against anything that hurts the country or tries to disfigure Pakistan in any way or form. Thank you.